About the Birds provides you with weekly analysis, game recaps, informative interviews, and it's all birds all the time.
What's going on, everybody? We're going to break down the Eagles-Niners wild card matchup here. A lot to talk about. Matt, listen, it's playoff time. It's time to get going. It's time to get started. We need to see. Yeah, it's crazy how fast the season goes.
It feels like forever just to get it started. We're talking about the offseason. We're talking about the draft. Yeah. We're scraping the bottom of the barrel to get content, and then all of a sudden it's playoff football.
Yeah,
it's just wild.
Flies by, and then we look to the same thing, and it's just that everlasting cycle of content, which listen, I'm fine with. You and I are like those sickos that will dissect everything, looking at draft prospects, free agents, what they can do, re-signing, all that kind of stuff. So when we get into those months after the football season, keeps it going, and till you're blue in the face in the draft and all that good stuff. But got a playoff game here to break down. The San Francisco 49ers come into town on Sunday, and a lot to talk about because when you take a look at the Philadelphia Eagles, the injury aspect of Lane Johnson, which he's on the field, looks like he's moving pretty good. So that's at least a good sign. It looks like everyone else kind of full practice in terms of players that we were, you didn't see last week. You're getting all the full practices and everything there. So I think Lane's the biggest one to kind of see exactly what's going on. I'm interested to see, because also you have on the other side of the card here with the 49ers, they've got some injury concerns of their own with Trent Williams, Ricky Pearsall. They got some things going on, D Winners, and then they've had an injury issue with Bethune, who is now out for the year. So they've got a lot of injuries on the defensive side of the ball. But I think we're going to start off here talking about the Eagles defense and the way that they can contain Purdy and the San Francisco offense.
Yeah.
So my question here to you is, and I know you and I were going back and forth on some stats here, and you were kind of not feeling as, I guess, good as you were, before we started digging deep dive into everything. But I'm going to have the utmost confidence in Vic Fangio, just because of what I've seen in the last essentially 2 years here and what he's done and the way that essentially the way the defense is. And it's been the same thing the last 2 years. Like the defense, it'll have its moments early in the season. 2024 was a little bit rocky in the first couple games of the year. And then all of a sudden, once, Coop got inserted and we had all that, it started to kind of gel a little bit better.
Yeah.
And then this year, you had a lot of new faces. We know of all the guys who had left and everything. And you had new guys, rookies, Jaha Campbell, because Nakobe wasn't in yet. You had all these new guys or guys getting extended time that they didn't get last year, and then kind of working their way in. And as you've seen, as the year has gone on, the better the defense has gotten. And looking at and what they do, it's just, I think they're performing right now at a all-time high. Essentially, they're exceeding expectations, and the way that they're playing every week seems to be getting better and better, which to me is a scary proponent when you get into the postseason, because all that matters when you look at teams, and defenses do win championships.
100%. And no, I agree with you. And my concern is not necessarily on the defensive side of the ball. Obviously, they have some nice weapons. They put up some points this year. The Niners have. We went through their schedule before we jumped on here. They've had a couple 40-point games. And Brock Purdy is another one of those guys. Like, I don't want to compare him to Josh Allen from a traits and like, he's not elite like Josh Allen is, but he is another one of those guys that I've seen give us fits with off schedule plays if you can't contain him, right? If you don't keep an eye on him.
Yeah.
So like, that's one thing that always kind of makes me nervous with Fangio defense, especially if we're running a bunch of quarters. The potential there for for the quarterback to get some big runs, right, and make off schedule plays. The other thing is that CMC is an absolute weapon out of the backfield. And then George Kittle, we haven't necessarily been amazing against tight ends this year when we're playing someone who can actually play, right? Like we've played some pretty shitty tight ends this year. I don't know that we've, I like off the top of my head, I don't know that we've played anybody the caliber of Kittle. So I'll be interesting to see again how we combat those two. I think that's going to be, those three are going to be the big keys to the game for me, at least, is containing their weapons because they don't have a ton of them, but the ones that they have make a big impact.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I think too, the one thing with the Vic Fangio defense and the way the defense plays, and especially when you look at the weather conditions, if you're getting 15, 20 mile an hour sustained winds and 30 mile an hour gusts, the deep shots may be a little bit tougher down the field. And just taking a look at this Eagles defense, like I don't have an issue if the ball's thrown out in the flat. Like I trust these guys to be able to make the tackles, whether it's Cooper, Quignon, even Adori's been a lot better than earlier in the year. And of course, the way the linebackers play, whether it's Nakobe, how they played Jihad, and then you have Zach Bond. It's going to be interesting to see what they do with those guys. So to me, I think the Eagles defense matches up well with the personnel because when you look at San Fran, and again, if Ricky Purcell doesn't play, Juwan Jennings is their best receiving target there. I know they have Kendrick Bourne, who's, he's an okay target, but like
DeMarcus
Robinson, like they don't have guys who are big time playmakers.
When he played for the Rams, right? Like he's not a slouch. Like he's always good for one big, ridiculous contested catch. And, if you're going back to that Bills game, we gave up a bunch of them. So I would assume that they're going to test our corners early and often because we're not great at the catch point. And we've proven that. And DeMarcus Robinson is like Mr. Catch Point. The other matchup I don't love is McCaffrey on Dean. We've seen Dean get caught in a couple wheel routes, get caught up in the traffic. Mm-hmm. Now there are other times where he covered Gibbs out of the backfield on a wheel route and did tremendously. He showed it last year in the Jaguars game when he called game there in the end zone for the pick. He's got his moments, but CMC is just such a weapon in the pass game. That's one matchup that could potentially, that I would assume they'll try to get, right? Because I think Bond can stay with him pretty well. And again, I'm not trying to shit on Dean, but Dean's strong suit is not coverage, right? He's tremendous in the blitz, and he's a bullet out of the gate on rundown. So I'm not concerned there. It's the matchup in the pass game with those two that keeps me up at night.
I think like there's a similarity here with
Debbie Downer. I'm trying to I've been thinking about all these little like chess matches, like the games within the game, that could potentially be an issue. And again, just to reemphasize, I trust Vic Fangio with my life, and I know he will have a plan for this. And this defense is playing at a high clip. They're on their upward trajectory at the perfect time, right? They always say that sacks come in bunches, and they're ripping them off at tremendous clip here. So I think they'll have success on the defensive side of the ball. I'm just trying to point out some of the things that would worry me if I was a defensive coordinator.
So too, like one similarity with a lot of the 49ers losses this year has been against teams with good defensive lines, whether it's edge rushers or interior defensive players.
Excuse me.
And I think that's one weak point with their offense is their offensive line.
Yeah.
And with the Eagles, if Jalen Carter is, as he says, as healthy as he's been, with his shoulders and everything, and you have Jordan Davis and Ojomo, and of course you have, Jalen Phillips able to kind of get get a rest, Nolan and Jalix and BG. So to me, able to deploy your defensive line. And then again, having a guy like Nakobe Dean back, with the way he blitzes and the way he rushes. And it was funny because watching the game last week when Jihad blitzed and missed that sack as he flew right around Josh Johnson's legs, I was thinking, yeah, that's something Dean does, and he would have connected. And it's just like stuff like that you put into play too. So it's an interesting aspect when you look at the way the defense is structured and the way that they play and what they do. And again, if you're able to get the pressure in the face of Purdy, which Seattle was able to do a number of times the last game that they played, and it shows you that like you can get to the quarterback, you can get to him. And I think interior pressure is huge. Now, again, you got to make sure that when he's escaping the pocket, that you have a plan for that, which again, I trust Vic with that. He had a plan against Josh Allen. I know Josh Allen was banged up a little bit with the foot, but still, you have to have a plan for that because Purdy will extend the play. And when he does that, all hands on deck, so you got to make sure you're doing that. I
don't know that most teams have the speed we have on the edge either though. No. The way these guys close, like that play in the Bills game on Josh Allen with Jalix after he was on the ground, that's just insane speed.
You're right. And you look at that, and listen, that's one thing that gives you gives me a little more confidence when you look at this defense and the way that they can contain the quarterback and contain the offense. And again, it comes down to McCaffrey and their run game. If you're able to, stop them for 1, 2, 3 yards and not let them get 5, 6, 7 and go on second and shorts, third and shorts, you're able to maybe give it to something like if you can get them in a 3rd and 7 or 3rd and 8,
keep them behind the sticks.
Keep them behind the sticks. Then like that's not the way their offense runs. Their offense doesn't run throwing deeper balls. Like they are a short rhythm type of offense. And if you're able to get them behind the sticks and give that extra half second or whatever it may be to get in the face of Purdy or cause that pressure or a tip ball or whatever it may be, that's going to be a big time focal point.
Now I wonder if they jam a little bit more than we've been used to seeing them. I feel like that's the kind of thing that Vic might throw out there just to mess with the timing there and disrupt it. Because again, if you're playing a rhythmic offense, if you can disrupt that timing, we've seen
especially if they're throwing short or wide receiver screens or whatever it may be. If you're already close to the line of scrimmage, to disrupt that and throw it off any second that you can, or even if you're able to get in there and either tip it or pick it off or whatever it is. Listen, I trust Vic to do a number of things because it's just what he's done and just what he showed.
And the other thing to keep in mind is, and we already somewhat touched on this, but the Trent Williams injury, right? Like he's an all-pro, right? He's a hell of a left tackle. If he plays, he's not going to be 100%. That's clear.
Hamstrings are tough for tackles. Like, come on, like
especially when you're playing it, and that's kind of where I was going with this. But especially,
do you know what hamstring it was? Was it his left leg or his right leg?
I don't know. I don't know that they disclose that, and I don't know that they have to.
Well, I was just wondering because the play that he got hurt.
Yeah.
Let me see.
But the point I'm trying to make there is like even if he does play, that's
his right hamstring.
Right hamstring. So that's his inside leg.
Yeah.
So like inside moves, for example, might be easier to pull off against Trent Williams this week. So watching his health and keeping an eye on that and whether or not he can stay in the game or if he's close to 100%, that's something to keep an eye on. But the other thing that kind of bothers me, and I did tweet about this earlier in the week, is like he is notorious for pushing buttons.
Yeah.
So like we gotta keep Cooper and Quinyon and Jalen Carter out of his face. Keep him. You hear him start to jab, like you get them out of there. BG or Nakobe has to be on the field at all times babysit and keep an eye on these dudes and make sure that they're not getting thrown out of the game, because he is an expert at that, and he always picks on the smaller dudes like a Quinyon or a Coop. So that's another thing. I know that sounds weird, but like, I don't think we've had a game against the Niners where he didn't do something shitty and one of us or one of them got thrown out. I think every game we've played, someone has been ejected. The NFC Championship game, he got thrown out because he was fighting with Kayvon Wallace.
He was Kayvon Wallace, yeah.
Yeah, he like choke slammed him. And then the year after that, when they were here, Greenlaw punched Dom in the face.
Sideline time.
Yeah. So I don't know. I expect them to try to get under our skin a little bit. And I know that sounds it's probably stupid to bring up on a football podcast, but like, unfortunately, it's something that they do and they're notorious for. So just something I wanted to call out because he's a complete asshole.
So yeah. I want to bring up the injury reports here. So Williams did practice limited participation in practice, which kind of, makes potential of return, most likely going to happen. But when you look at some of the players who did not practice, of course, Ricky Pearsall did not practice again. I guess he aggravated his injury, which I'm not sure how bad that is. Linebacker D. Winters did not practice. Say again?
PCL, right?
I believe it was PCL. I believe so.
I read a couple reports today that said Fred Warner has a better shot at playing than he does. Ooh. So I would assume Pearsall's out.
D. Winters, I think he's dealing with an ankle thing, I believe.
Ankle or hammy.
And then defensive end Keon White did not practice as well. Jordan Elliott, who did get hurt, tweaked his knee in individual drills. He was a limited participant. Also, linebacker Luke Gifford with a quad injury did not practice.
Yeah, that's big. So
just to get into it. So Bethune is placed on IR. They signed Kaiser White to their practice squad. Their linebacking core
is Eric Kendricks.
And Eric Kendricks, which most likely he's in line to start.
Yeah.
My only thing is this. We said the same thing about the Bears game.
Yep.
Eagles had all the opportunity to attack them. Mm-hmm. They didn't do it. Now, does that push you to, maybe looking at that and attacking it? Because Eric Kendricks, he'll be 34 years old. Like, he played last year with the Cowboys. He's good against the run. But again, he was on a practice squad for a reason. Yeah. And like, if you really look at their linebacking core, essentially you have Eric Kendricks. If D. Winters and Luke Gifford doesn't play, you have Eric Kendricks, Garrett Wallow, and Curtis Robinson. And then maybe they bring up a Kaiser White to play special teams.
Well, and that signing makes me believe that that's the case, right? They believe that someone's not going to play. I don't know who that's going to be. But it's not a great situation on paper. But like you said, we saw it against Chicago and we made their linebackers look like the 85 Bears. So Tulo seems to have that effect on opposing defenses, making them look adequate. So I'm hoping that they find a way to capitalize, that the offensive line got that rest that they needed with Dickerson and Juergens. But
before we get to the Eagles offense against their defense a little deeper, I did want to talk about one thing because it's funny. I heard it yesterday and I'm like, you know what? That's actually pretty interesting. So remember in the championship game, they bitched and complained that they didn't have about the rule about the quarterback thing and everything like that. And they didn't have a third quarterback and Purdy hurts his elbow. And then you have, of course, Josh Johnson gets the concussion. They're both out. And then Purdy comes back in the game and can do nothing but just hand the ball off. Well, they only have two quarterbacks. They have Purdy and Mac Jones.
They do have a practice squad quarterback.
They do, but again, if they don't elevate him, he can't play.
And I don't think you can make an elevation your emergency quarterback.
No.
So they would have to sign him to the 53.
Yeah, they would have to sign him. Now, again, that
would be.
Can that happen? Absolutely could happen, because if one of these guys who aren't practicing, one of these linebackers or whatever it may be, they could place them on IR.
Yeah.
And then just do that. You could see that, and then they could pull up 2 other guys from the practice squad. But again, when you look at this defense, they've got 20 sacks this season. Bryce Huff and Sam Okoyanu are the edge rushers. And you have Keon White, Yetur Gross-Matos, Penn State legend, Cleveland Farrell, and Robert Beal Jr. Those are their edge rushers. Those are their edges. Now, again, Keon White's injured. If he's cannot play, then of course that dings them down again there. And again, they've got a young defense because they got a couple rookies. Renardo Green, Upton Stout is a rookie. Renardo Green's a second-year player. You have Jair Brown and Mustafa, who I think that's a pretty decent safety tandem. I like both of those guys.
Jair's Penn State, right?
Jair Brown's Penn State. You have Lenore, who's a solid corner. He has his good plays, bad plays, but he is a solid cornerback. But again, when you look at their defense as a whole, they're so banged up and beat up because, of course, you have no Nick Bosa. As you mentioned, you also have no Fred Warner. You have who else? Who's the other guy? Michael Williams, the rookie defensive edge rusher. And you have Tatum Bethune, and no
Ayuk. I know he hasn't played all year, but Ayuk's not there anymore. Like, their receiving core doesn't scare me the way it did when they had Debo and Ayuk in their heyday.
But I think too is we're not saying that Eagles are going to blow them out. That's not they made the playoffs for a reason. They're a solid coached football team. They have, pretty good young players.
Yeah,
who play maybe a little bit above. Like Tatum Bethune really stepped in for Fred Warner. He wasn't Fred Warner, but he stepped up. He was it's like the Oren Burks thing. Oren Burks isn't a household name, but he stepped up when Nakobe went down last year, and he was a solid player.
Yeah.
And again, when you take a look at this, you look at their linebacking core. If D. Winters can't play, and you're down to Curtis Robinson, Eric Kendricks, and Wallow or Gifford, whoever it may be,
or White,
there is a big time. And again, I hope the Eagles are able to attack that and be able to, to me, what that is. If you have these linebackers who are on the practice squad, inexperienced, that's where I need to see more RPO. Let me see Saquon and Bigsby in the backfield together.
Let me make tough decisions.
Stuff.
Yeah,
let me see Grant Capitera inactive because he's hurt. There's a lot of stuff I need to see. Wouldn't it be interesting if Grant Calcaterra is inactive for this game and they're able to run the ball like crazy and the offense looks great? Not saying he's their issue with the offense, but
he's not the issue.
Because he's not out there as a liability to block. You place a Fred Johnson out there instead of him.
But the addition of Lane Johnson gives you the ability to go big.
True. Very true.
And Fred, they were having tremendous success with that before Lane went down.
But
especially in the play action game, which is that's where I could see them taking advantage of.
I would agree there.
Inexperienced linebackers, and Kendricks is not exactly Mr. Coverage. So I could see Goddard having a big game. I could see them attacking the seams. Assuming that the safeties are going to have their hands full shadowing to Smith or Brown. So I agree with you. I think play action. I think they need to establish the run right off the bat. I'm hoping that Cam and Dickerson got the rest that they needed, and they can be a little bit more fluid in the run game and get up to that second level and take advantage of some inexperience, take advantage of some misdirection. and then tear apart the seams with Goddard, because I think the focus of their team is going to be take away Brown and Smitty. That's what I would do.
Yeah, and when you take a look at it, if you're able to run the ball and able to get 4, 5, 6 yards per carry, they're going to be bringing down an extra defender in the box there, which then should open up. And again, that's where you do the play action. That's where you do the RPO type stuff. But I would like to see some Tank Bigsby, 5 to 8 carries.
I was just going to say, can we get Tank the ball?
Just give me something. It's such a change of pace that I think is needed. And listen, like, you can even have him and Saquon on the field together.
They ran quite a bit of pony last week.
Like,
with Shipley and Tank. I'd like to see Tank and Saquon in there, especially on, like, they had one play where it was Shipley, Tank, and Latu in the back as like a wishbone.
Yeah.
Which I thought was incredible. I'd love to see them put some wrinkles in there that we haven't seen. Like, there's a conspiracy theory out there that our offense is dog shit because KP's saving everything for the postseason, and maybe that's the case. Maybe that's true. I don't know.
That'd be pretty terrible in my opinion, because
it would be malpractice. But like, who knows? Once you get in the dance, like, it's 4 games.
All bets are off. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, look at what happened with the 17 Eagles, right? Like, we scraped together a win off of a pair of forced fumbles by Malcolm Jenkins against the Raiders, and then we come out and we blow the doors off of the Vikings. We barely beat the Falcons, but then we blow the doors off the Vikings and took down the dynasty, the first dynasty. So again, like, things change.
Second dynasty too.
Things change in the playoffs. So I'm optimistic that we'll get it going.
But isn't it interesting?
The rest is it? Yeah.
Playoff wise or whatever. Yeah. So when you take a look at the Eagles' last 3 championships.
Yeah.
2022, they beat the Chiefs. Stopped the 3. Was it stopping the 3 feet? Yeah, stopping the 3 feet.
We lost. We lost in 2022.
No. I'm talking about championships. The ones they won.
Right. We lost in 22.
Yeah, but 24 we won last year.
Correct.
Where
are we going with this?
We beat the Chiefs, who were the dynasty.
Yeah.
We beat the Patriots in 17, the dynasty. 1960, we beat the Packers.
The dynasty. Yeah.
Well, the Packers really weren't the dynasty yet. I guess you can't really say that. They became the dynasty then.
Well, and then who did we beat in 48 and 49? We were the dynasty.
Yeah, I guess we were the dynasty then. You're not allowed to go back that far. Unless you're certain teams.
You're not allowed to go to 1960.
Yeah, they don't count as championships because
it's more than 30 years. Wait.
Yeah. Yeah. So
we're looking at you, Dallas. It is super interesting, and the 2 quarterback thing is, you have me thinking about that now, because I need it now. I need that same thing to happen with Brock and Mac. I am cautiously optimistic. Again, I think I waved back and forth on this. Like, I woke up this morning thinking we're going to beat the brakes off of them, and then as the day went on, I
never thought beat the brakes off, but
I thought we were going to crush them when I woke up this morning, and then I saw the Trent Williams news, and I was like, oh yeah, we're going to kill him, and then I heard he might play, and then I'm
then
doing
you're
a
like,
little
no,
bit.
this is going to happen now. Now they're going to.
Then I'm doing a little bit. I'm doing a little bit more research and doing a little more digging, and I don't think they're as bad as people are saying they are. I mean, they're a playoff team. They won 12 games.
No, I don't think they're as bad. Division.
They were 1 win away from having the number 1 seed, and they have half their team on IR. Like, they are a very well coached team, and what they've done with who they have is extremely impressive. They are super resilient. They are scrappy, and they play in arguably the toughest division in the NFL. So, I think we have the better roster on paper, and from a health perspective, 100%. But we also have an inexperienced OC who's never been really in the playoffs from a play calling perspective. Now, on the flip side, we have one of the most experienced teams in the NFL who has, 20 of 21 starters or 21 of 22 starters playing in this game, and a majority of them were on the team in some significant capacity last year on a championship win. So I don't know. I'm kind of thinking out loud here because the playoffs drive me nuts. Like the playoffs get me in my feelings. And I do have the utmost confidence in this team, especially on the defensive side of the ball, but I don't think this is as easy of a matchup as everybody thinks it is.
So I don't think it's easy. Like I think a lot of it points toward the Eagles side in terms of what they can do against either essential side. Like we know how healthy the Eagles are.
Yeah.
I get that. I don't know. I just, for something keeps giving me that the Eagles offense is
they're going to
flip that switch.
We've been saying that for
but
8 weeks.
Yeah.
No joke. We've been saying that for eight freaking weeks, and we've done it twice since then.
I look at it like this though, too. Like to me, the way I see it, the Eagles need to win another Super Bowl if Kevin Patullo keeps his job, because otherwise he's gone. And I think too is like you look at it and to me it's how deep do you go and who's like you don't want to get into the situation where you have to keep him because there's nobody out there or left. And right there's another thing where it's like, well, what are they going to do? And like I think a lot of people are thinking that like, oh, he needs to go and he needs to go. Like if you can't get this offense against a beat up San Francisco defense, like listen, I know the Bears have played very well. They're probably probably the best offensive line. But they were moving the ball up and down. And I'll give you even one more. Phillip Rivers and the Colts put 27 points. Well, 20 points because they had a pick six.
Yeah.
To start the game. But they still put 20 points up on San Francisco with a 44-year-old who couldn't throw the ball more than 20, 25 yards down the field.
Yeah.
Like, to me, you need to.
Listen, I get it. But it's playoff football, man. And it's
playoff football. Well, I get that. I've seen this team.
Different speed. It's a different hunger. I'm not doubting this team. Again, I want to make that super clear. I like the experience that we have on this team. I like the vibes that I'm hearing from inside the locker room.
Yeah.
I forget who it was. It was at ESP that was saying it was the loudest locker room he had heard.
It was the loudest locker room, and AJ Brown was the one leading it.
And that AJ Brown was kind of the head honcho there, leading the charge. So, like, I love that. Like, we play our best football when we are loose, when we are having a good time. So that to me gives me confidence.
I do want to ask you this one last question before we get to our Eureka locks. I'm going to bring up something that. So Jalen was asked. Zach Berman posted
about the OC. This coordinator.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
He goes and hold on. My computer loves to.
Do you want me to bring that up?
No, I got it.
What do you have, a dog whistle in the back?
What?
You have a dog whistle in the background?
No. Let me see where we going with this. Where is it? I don't know. I thought he posted it. Alrighty. Here we go. So Jalen Hurts on whether the decline in running has kept him healthy. No, the season has gone the way it is. The approach this year and the way the games have been called with this coordinator, with Coach KP, it's just kind of gone that way. I've taken it in stride and giving my best with the position they've put me in.
Yeah.
To me, I also think a lot tells you when they announced he was the coordinator and Jalen was at his locker and they said about he was named coordinator and he really didn't give any
ready.
Ringing endorsements. Unfortunately, I think they won the Super Bowl and what they did was they just wanted to promote from within. Essentially, that's kind of how it was.
I don't think they wanted to. I don't think they had. I think the thinking there was like the cream of the crop from a coordinator perspective either became a head coach, became a head coach or went elsewhere. And then the other hope there was that he would provide some sort of continuity.
Yeah.
Right. Which was something that
because he's been here.
Right. Well, he knew the offense. He knew the passing game specifically. He knew Jalen Hurts. He knows Sirianni. So the continuity would, in theory, be there. The problem is that he had never called plays before.
Yeah.
Like I think like if this had been Scott Loeffler in that same position and he had just called plays in the past, I think it could have worked out better.
Yeah.
I think the thinking was right. The execution, unfortunately, was not. But I mean, who knows? Maybe he's hitting his stride. Who knows? Like I'm not going to take any credence of last week.
Yeah.
Right. Like that. The scrub game. Like I don't care. Should he have run tank more heavily in the fourth quarter? Absolutely. Am I going to take that with a grain of salt? Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, so
it's going to be interesting because of, I think a lot of it too has to do with the names that are out there right now. But the problem is the more you move on in the playoffs, the more those will get dried up because of them getting hired somewhere else. You know, you're going to have all that. So it's going to be an interesting aspect to watch as these playoffs keep going and see how the offense looks come the playoffs, what they're running, what they're doing. Right. It's going to be, there's a lot of moving parts here. And it's going to be interesting to see because the talent's there. Everything is there for them to be able to.
The other thing to say there is that anyone that was fired is fair game. The Eagles don't have to wait to talk to any of them.
No.
If they want to reach out to Mike McDaniels and say, listen, we're like, regardless of what happens here, if we win it, if we lose, we're going to change the OC. We'd like you to be that guy. Hold off. They can do that with no penalty. It's not tampering or anything like that. They could do that with John Harbaugh as their special teams coach if they want, but that's one thing to keep in mind. Like Monken, Stefanski, Mike McDaniel. I know those are the big names that are out there right now.
Cliff Kingsbury.
Cliff Kingsbury, who they were enamored with at one point. So, and they eventually settled on Kellen Moore. So there's nothing preventing them from having those conversations like they would with a free agent like Brandon Graham, for example, where they were like, hey, stay in shape because we might need you in November.
Yeah, we'll see. Which this brings us now to one of our favorite segments, and that would be the Eureka Locks.
Yep.
It's time for the Eureka Locks of the week. Who's your lock?
All righty. Now it is playoff time. So we got the playoff locks. And the way that we're going to do the playoff locks, a little bit different here.
Okay. Thanks for the prep.
Oh, it makes it better when there's no prep.
Yeah, does it?
So the way that we're going to do this, we'll pick the Eagles game. We'll do that next. But the way that we're doing the playoff locks is we're going to go through the schedule and we're going to pick each of the games. I guess we'll pick the Eagles game as, we do it. We're going to go with our playoff predictions and go from there. So, which brings us to, let me pull up the playoff. Let me see here.
I got you right here.
Oh, I got it right here. Okay. All right. So the Steelers and the Texans.
Gross. We're going reverse order here. We're going Monday to Saturday. Or are we going to start Saturday?
We're going to go Monday. We're just going to go. All right, hold on. I'll do it a little different for you since you get a little butthurt here.
Listen, I'm just saying it just feels weird to start with the last game.
All right. So, well, I'm going to start with whatever here. Let's
start with whatever, dude. Who gives a shit?
All right. Let's go. We'll do it different here. We're going to start with the AFC side. That's why I want to start with the AFC before we get to the NFC. I know the NFC starts first, so we'll go with the AFC to start, okay?
Sure, man.
Chargers, Patriots.
Yeah. Are you asking me?
Patriots. Yes, I'm asking you first.
Patriots.
Okay. And then we have the Buffalo Bills and the Jacksonville. Hold on. Okay. Jacksonville Jaguars.
Jags.
Ooh, you think the Jags are going to get
I do.
The best? Well, I guess the way their defense.
They are at home, and they are the number one rush defense in the NFL.
Jaguars. Okay. Yeah. And then the Steelers and Texans.
Texans. Steelers are poop.
All right. Which then brings us to the Texans are at the Broncos in the divisional. We're going to go all AFC first, and then we'll go to the NFC.
Texans, Broncos.
Okay. And then we have the Jags at the Patriots.
Patriots. Wow. Okay. That's the 2017 NFC or AFC Championship game. Blake Bortles.
Well, the Jags aren't in it, though. Oh, you mean those two teams? I get you.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Now we have the Patriots at the Broncos.
Patriots
are in the Super Bowl. They're back. Alrighty. Over to the NFC side. Yeah. Packers, Bears.
I have the Packers.
A lot of people are going that way. I don't disagree there. I just think they should have won both games, in my opinion. Of course, Niners, Eagles. Which then leads us to, we know where you're picking on the Eagles aspect with the game. Then we have the Rams, Panthers.
This one, I really, really want to pick Carolina.
Yeah.
Just to be.
But they already beat them. So
But I just don't trust Bryce Young. I got to go with the Rams, unfortunately.
Okay. Which then brings us to the divisional playoffs. The Packers at the Seahawks. Rams at the Eagles. Rams get their rematch in the divisional playoff again. And, okay, I think they get the best of them. Eagles at Seattle.
I don't love the Seattle matchup for the Eagles. I think that defense is so good. And I could see... do I be a homer on this one?
I don't know. Listen, you tell me.
Just for shits and gigs, I'm going to go Eagles because Jalen Hurts this year was told he never wins in certain places, right? He never wins in Tampa. He never wins. I forget where else it was, in Arrowhead. He never wins, so on and so forth. And he continues to prove people wrong. We have not won in Seattle since, 2009? 2000 something like that.
I thought it was 2001 in Seattle.
It might even be that. So let's say it's 2001. We haven't won in Seattle in 24 years, 25 years. I think Jalen goes and breaks the curse. He's a curse breaker. All right.
So then you have the Super Bowl is the
Birds.
And you've got the Eagles winning the Super Bowl. Okay.
I don't know if I really feel this way, but it's hard for me to pick against them.
Okay. So now as we go, alrighty. So for
Where are you
me,
going?
Chargers, Patriots, going the Patriots.
Yeah.
Bills, Jags, I'm going with Josh Allen and the Bills.
Ooh.
Texans, Steelers. I know the Texans defense is great. They haven't played a game in a cold weather place. I know.
It's going to be like 50 degrees on Monday.
Are you sure? Pull up the weather app because I don't think so. I think it's going to be colder than that. I'm going to go with the Steelers, by the way. It'll be a boring game, but the Steelers will come away with victorious because they also will have DK Metcalf back. Bills at the Broncos. This is where I see the upset, and I see the Bills beating the Broncos. I know the Broncos defense is great. I get that. I just think Bo Nix is not that great of a quarterback, and I think their offense
Their defense is so good, though.
I know their defense is very good, but again, I'm going with the quarterback aspect, and I think Josh Allen can pull some magic out and get the win. Steelers, Patriots, I'm going Patriots. And then we have the divisional matchup, Bills, Patriots. Bills are going to Super Bowl.
Wow.
I know their defense isn't great, but I think this is where Josh Allen he doesn't have to go through Lamar, doesn't have to go through Mahomes, doesn't have to go through Burrow. None of those guys are here.
Yeah.
He has a bunch of young quarterbacks here. I think he finally does something that they've wanted him to do for so long.
Okay.
Now on the NFC side.
It's going to be
Packers,
37 degrees on Monday, by the way, in Pittsburgh.
At night.
It says 37.
But Houston hasn't played in a game under 50 degrees, I believe.
30 degrees at game
I'm picking
time.
the Steelers. I'm not changing. Packers, Bears. I got the Packers. I just think, again, like they should have won both games. I think they, have had rest. I think they'll come away victorious. Now, again, there could be snow in the forecast for that game, so it is going to really be interesting. Eagles, 49ers. I have the Eagles winning.
Oh, spoiler alert.
I know. Rams, Panthers. I have the Rams dominating the Panthers this time around. Packers, Seahawks.
Yeah.
Packers versus Seahawks. I have Seattle winning that.
Yeah.
Rams, Eagles. You're not going to like me. I have the Rams winning. Rams, Seahawks in the conference championship. And I have the Rams getting the best there. Playing the Bills, and the Bills will finally win the Super Bowl.
That would be the most annoying Super Bowl of all time.
I'm sorry. I want to be a homer and everything, but I've done that all year. I have to be.
It was hard for me to pick the Eagles, to be honest with you.
Which brings us to this game. Now, again, this could all change depending on how the Eagles look.
It likely
That's just
will
what I'm going
change,
with right now.
Johnny. Yeah.
So the way I see the game going is I think the Eagles offense, they'll be able to muster enough points. I think they're going to be able to turn. I think it's going to click. And I had mentioned that. I think the defense will be able to hold the 49ers to field goals, potentially not even field goals, and be able to stop them. I have the Eagles winning this 27-16.
Wow. Okay. I have a similar vibe here. The team vibes are high. The experience is there. The big game experience is there. The home crowd is there at the Link. It's not going to be cold, unfortunately. It's going to be like a 40-degree game.
Well, yeah, it'll be like in the lower 40s and windy, so it's not going to be a freezing.
I think they said with wind chill, it'll feel like it's in the 30s, which always bodes well for us. I like the home field advantage. I like the vibes right now. I like the rest that we got from Sirianni's decision last week. I think the Eagles go in and take this. Oh, I'm going to go 27-13.
27-13. Wow, that'd be nice.
Yeah.
So, I like it. I like what they're doing. Like when you take a look at the way it lines up and the way that like defense is playing, I like everything that they do there, and I think that's going to be able to propel them. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. It's going to be tough.
No, I'm good.
But again, it's the playoffs. That's what it's about. This isn't easy street. So, and this team has battled and been battle tested, and they know how to play in these types of games. So I don't have any.
Where I am. I think that has more weight to it than people understand.
And again, I agree with you there. I think you're right when it comes to that. No, it's
although Purdy, Purdy and CMC and Trent Williams and Kittle, they've all been there. They've been to the Super Bowl. They lost, but they were there. So that does count for something too. But we've done it recently. This defense is playing out of its mind right now. I think it's just going to be too much for San Francisco. Even their fans seem kind of weary about it.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. And we'll be back now. And we will talk to everybody for the post-game recap of this game. When that is, we will let you guys know. But as we always do, we always end it with a very happy and joyful Go Birds!
Go Birds!
This is Matt Ware. Hey, for all the Eagle content you need, go follow All About the Birds. They do a damn thing. Check them out.
Hey, Eagles fans, I may be in Tampa, but I know where to find the best Eagles content out there. Check out my friends at All About the Birds.
Philadelphia, what's up? This your boy Freddie Mitchell, a.k.a. Fred X. It's all about the bird.
All birds all the time. All birds all the time.
All About the Birds provides you with weekly analysis, game recaps, informative interviews, and it's all birds all the time.